I'm Stephanie Cancel and we are at the SKF booth at Equipoto. I'm together with Philipp HERLEIN, Aftermarket Global Manager, and Richard CORBETT, Racing Innovation Manager. Hello. Hello, Philipp. So you've just won the Innovation Award for a specific product. Could you please tell us about it?
Right. Thanks, Stephanie, and thanks for having us on this interview here. It's been an honor for SKF to be nominated and then awarded also with the Sustainability Award here at Equipoto. The product we actually had in application for this and we filed for was a 3D printed bearing. An innovation that comes from our aerospace and racing teams and that we try to take for, let's say, smaller batch productions for reduced material and enabling us to have a material and a bearing that is much lighter than as of normal production. And yeah, we are really happy to have been granted this award, and maybe Richard will pitch in with a little bit more specifics about the product itself.
Yeah, thanks, Philipp. Hi. So yeah, we're very proud, as Philipp said, also to have achieved this innovation, to be able to print a bearing. I mean, additive manufacturing, 3D printing has been around since the 80s, so it's well known. Also, printing steel parts is well known, but to be able to print a bearing where there's so many, where the part needs to be so resistant, it's a real challenge. There's a lot of constraints, a lot of challenges for the steel to cope with the kind of pressures and so on. So it's not easy to do, and we've achieved it. And this will be useful for producing low volume parts with low lead times, much faster than we're capable of doing today. For not just for racing, we're hoping also that this could be something useful for people with, for example, classic cars where the parts are no longer available, obsolete parts. We should be able to print them and make those available as well.
Can you customize the parts according to the model, the car model?
Yes, I mean we can print anything. So. It's, as long as we have a 3D model of the part, we can print it. Yeah, so
it's that easy?
No, it's not easy. As I tried to say before, it's really not easy. It's taken several years of development, and as Philipp said, it started with the aerospace division of SKF. I mean, it's really high tech. The type of steels that we're using are very specialized to be able to get the heat treatment and the endurance that we need for these kind of components. So it's a real challenge, not easy at all. But
Philipp mentioned environment. In terms of sustainability, what is the advantage of that 3D printing?
Sure. I mean, in the end, as we talk about, this bearing is built out of, let's say, a special steel powder that is built on different layers, and in the end we end up with, let's say, a weight reduction on a bearing of 30%. This means 30% less input steel and so on and so forth. All these, let's say, downstream manufacturing process we can skip, and through that enable a bearing that is much lighter and has a much lighter impact also in our manufacturing footprint.
So I guess the car is lighter as well, so the mileage is better?
Right. I mean, it's not as notable as the bearing in total weight for the car doesn't make up so much in private use, but for racing this can be very important. These reductions of 30% in bearing weight is quite substantial. And I think these are also the initial applications that we try for in Rally Dakar. I think being one of the key segments here to apply this. And yeah, I think that summarizes it.
Have you already some car manufacturers who are interested in that technology?
I think we cannot disclose any specific manufacturer, but yeah, I think the segment is what we can disclose. So the car racing is the first to be applied here, and yeah, I think more to follow.
Yes, I agree. Unfortunately, we can't say much more. It's quite confidential at the moment. But I would just like to talk a bit more about the sustainability side of things, as Philipp mentioned. Also, I mean, to make a part like this out of traditional manufacturing methods, you would either have to machine it from a block of material, which would create a lot of waste, or you would have to make tools, which also means extra material to make the tools. With 3D printing, we use just the material that we need to make the part, so there's a lot less waste of material, and as Philipp mentioned, lighter weight components, so more efficiency in the systems. So it all contributes. I mean, it's not going to make a huge difference to sustainability in the world today, but it contributes, and every little bit helps.
So these rings are made of steel. Is it a specific steel you use?
Yes, it's a very specific steel, which I can't give too much information about. But in terms of sustainability, again, this is a fossil-free steel. So and this is something that SKF is really focusing on at the moment, to find steels that do not use fossil fuels to produce, and this being 3D printed, additive manufactured steel from a very specific source, and so on. It has this advantage of being fossil free as well.
So it's very much sustainable, and all the more since the steel comes from Europe.
Yes, that's right. It's from somewhere. It's in Sweden. Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, Philipp and Richard, and congratulations on your Innovation Award at Equipoto.